What are we cheering?
The electric boogaloo. Guys, I got this.
Hello, my name is NamaTheNerd, and I am joined today by...
I'm Dan.
This is...
Shouley.
Alright, we're going to talk about Batman versus Superman. Real quick, Batman versus Superman in 30 seconds. Batman hates Superman. Superman...
Hates Batman.
They fight, Doomsday, they die, Superman dies.
And they'll die.
And Batman's like, hey, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's like, what? I'm in this movie? And Batman goes, you want to make a Justice League? And Wonder Woman's like, sure. And then Lex Luthor's like, Darkseid's coming! That's the plot in 30 seconds.
It's the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the movie.
Cool, glad I didn't see it.
Yeah. What did you like about this movie?
I liked, it was pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesse Eisenberg.
He was enjoyable. You know what else was good? The music.
The music.
The music was really
also
good.
Pretty good.
There was a scene in the last fight when they were all fighting Doomsday.
Scenes.
The Trinity was fighting Doomsday, and then like Superman was like taking a kryptonite axe up to Doomsday, and he was like, ugh, and then they were playing the really sad Man of Steel theme, and then Batman like shot a kryptonite bullet at Doomsday, and then played like 4 notes of the Batman 90s thing, and I thought that was really good. I thought that was really cool. I'm noticing a pattern with
DC
superhero
and
movies.
superhero.
Like bad, not Disney superhero movies.
Yeah, because Disney makes all the best ones.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, it all boils down to like production values. Like, it's like the executives are like, we want you to do what Marvel's doing. Mm-hmm. Make a cinematic universe right now.
But they try and rush it all the time.
All the time.
They can just...
They did it with Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
They did it with Fan Four Stick to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
But not really. Fan Four Stick wasn't anything.
Fan Four Stick had the same problem that this movie had, where it was 95% exposition.
Yeah, but at least Batman vs. Superman was interesting exposition. Fan Four Stick was... Well, Fan Four Stick, like... they were trying to put forward the question of, does the world need a Superman? And that is an interesting question just outside of the situation, right?
Yes.
The Fan Four Stick was... I don't know, powers?
We got a time machine.
They had no idea what their movie was about.
We got
that movie really felt like, well, we need to keep this license. We'll bring Mr. Fantastic, Johnny Storm the Thing, and Dr. Doom, the Fantastic Four. They come back and they're like, oh wait.
Oh, it looks like Doom's dead.
You got
Fan Four Stick, like you said a while ago, is a not movie.
Yeah,
nothing happens.
It's just nothing. Like, I'm watching and I'm like, have I been on Reddit? Like, nothing's going on.
The reason why that movie is so bad is the reason why Amazing Spider-Man 2 is not as good is because they film a bunch of stuff and then for some reason everything gets cut.
Yeah.
Well, it's because
I think
Hollywood doesn't believe that we have an attention span. It doesn't believe in us as consumers.
Oh.
Hence, we get movies like this.
Hence, Muppet Wizard of Oz.
How great would Muppet Wizards of Oz be, though? Was it a real thing?
Yeah.
Is it awful?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's kind of the worst Muppet movie. It was right when Disney bought Muppets. And it was in like 2005. And they're like, we have Muppets now! And they made it like, I think it was a straight-to-DVD Muppet movie. And it was Muppet Wizard of Oz. And they got like a Disney Channel actress. Yeah. But then it was fine because then they made The Muppets. And it's so good. But we're talking about bad movies.
And Amazing Spider-Man 2 was less bad.
Less bad.
Than the other movies I watched.
The thing about Amazing Spider-Man 2 is when they have it right, they have it right. They have it locked.
Yeah, there was a lot
loaded.
they did right.
When 10 minutes in the movie, Spider-Man's just being Spider-Man, and then like you hear the police reports and the news and all this stuff, and Spider-Man's just being nice to kids and things like that.
Yeah. That's
really great. The costume looks awesome. Andrew Garfield is good as Spider-Man. He's not necessarily good as Peter Parker.
It's the worst Peter Parker.
He's the not cool guy. They shoehorned a lot of stuff. The most glaring one is Green Goblin. Like they could have done everything the same that they did with him, except they shouldn't have had him be Green Goblin until the very end, where they're like, "Hey, here's our next movie. It's gonna be about Green Goblin."
Well, see, they do the same thing in Spider-Man 2 as they do with Bats v Supes. They say they go through a dark corridor and like there's government spies and everything, and they're all like, "Hey, look, there's Dr. Octopus. There's the arms. Hey, look, there's the Vulture's wings. Hey, look, there's Craven the Hunter." Just in a cage for some reason. And then they do that in Batman v Supes. They're like, hey, look, it's the Flash. Hey, look, it's Aquaman in a cave. What do you think it's going to be like when Aquaman like meets everybody else?
He's going to be speaking fishy noises.
He's going to be like,
blah, blah, blah.
I want to see. I kind of want to see Jason Momoa going.
People live on the land.
I hate people that live on the land.
So all of them, except for me.
There's like a whole kingdom or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe they could put on Namor and be like, he's the last one, which is why he's so ticked off. Have you seen all of the pictures with him as Aquaman? He's like,
yeah. I mean, have you?
He's like,
you seen him not as Aquaman?
I'm quiet.
It's true.
He looks like all the time.
Here he is, people. We have Jason Momoa on interview. Hey, tell me, what was it like working on Batman v Superman?
I'm mad. You ever been underwater before? It's a lot of pressure, you know.
Why is DC bad, Dan?
They made like one good movie and are trying to pander that the whole time. Like, yeah, the DC Comics created comic book movies for us as they are as a medium as we know today. It's like the 70s Superman movies, the first couple were really good. People enjoyed them, and then like they kind of petered out. And then if Batman wasn't a good movie, the first one back in '89, Tim Burton's Batman wasn't a good watchable movie. No other superhero movie would probably be made. The thing that they don't have is an identity, because the reason the Nolan Batman movies, well, specifically The Dark Knight and specifically The Dark Knight, because Batman Begins it's pretty good.
It's the precursor to The Dark Knight.
Those two films directly. Every DC movie from now on is trying to recapture The Dark Knight,
except for the Green Lantern. Which,
you're right.
Which tried to not be that and then failed. And that was
miserably.
That was the lesson that DC took from that movie. It's like, well, looks like we can only make one movie. Fantastic, Amazing Spider-Man's movie series, and then now Batman vs. Superman is all falling under the same thing of we want to be Marvel, but we're rushing everything all at once.
It feels like they feel that they need to get to the place where Marvel is right now, immediately.
And
I don't think that
it
at all.
absolutely repulses me.
If you look at Marvel, they've got a great plan that they throw it in front of everyone, like, hey, this is what we're doing. And they build everything up over a few movies and bring everyone all together for that.
Yeah.
And it just works really well.
I mean, if I was in charge of the DCCU, I'm not. Instead of Man of Steel, I would have gone with The Flash, or a lesser-known DC character. Let's introduce you into this world with a character that you might not know very well. I'm saying you need that Iron Man movie. Nobody cared about Iron Man before 2008.
Not at all. Comic book people.
Comic book people to a certain extent. If they had the Flash TV show as their Man of Steel movie, like just a movie of that.
Yeah.
Then I think that would have done a good job of saying, look, here's the world. Like, we're not talking about big Titans emblems. We're not talking about Superman and Batman. We're talking about DC.
His character is being the beacon of that, that deific figure. That's what he kind of is.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to, write a story where that's super compelling and interesting, and be relatable.
The only interesting story at this point for Superman is to take something away from him. It's hard to tell a story where Superman has everything. Maybe take his secret identity, or take his powers, or take his loved ones. It's he has everything.
They need to respect their characters more, because I don't think they do any of that at all. They have no qualms about just deciding this is how Superman is, and it is because we said so, not because what he's been forever. That's the biggest part that bugs me about most superhero movies, that they don't care about. You don't have to completely redo something in the comics, but I think you should respect them.
You know what's a better movie than this movie? The Batman Superman movie by Bruce Timm, the cartoon, because it's really simple. It's Batman and Superman. They're all like, hey, Joker's in Metropolis and he's teaming up with Luthor. Probably should go fight them. And then they have a Mexican, Batman and Superman have a Mexican standoff, and they're rivals, and they push each other's buttons a little bit. But then they work together and they become friends and they get a relationship. That is a better movie than this Hollywood 2.5-hour blockbuster. I will say that the best part of that movie is when Superman finally comes down to the Senate, and then Mrs. Incredible is like, let the record show that we have Superman in the court. And she's like, that is a jar of pee there. And then she's like, wait a minute, and then it blows up. like Lex.
Zara P. Lex isn't here. Fire.
And then Superman's like standing there, and he's like, I couldn't do anything. And there's
Single
this
tear.
tear down his face, and it's like
one tear.
And Lex Luthor was really, really enjoyable because like he was the only person who had any flavor of personality.
Yeah, that's
like they had good things, but when Doomsday showed up, when Lex Luthor put Zod into the fryer, and then this rock guy came out, this half-baked Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I went, ah.
Well,
that's literally what I did.
It's because Hollywood believes that you have to have an antagonist.
I was so tired.
They tried to set up the whatever with the Flash coming in and being like, "You're right.
Save the cheerleader, save the world."
So
like, Flash comes from the future in his dream.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, what?
Yeah.
And
I mean, that probably has a lot to do with it, because Marvel...
That was the Thor in the pool scenes.
My favorite thing about Age of Ultron was watching Cream Southworth take a bath. I don't know about you.
Dude, that's why I went!
That's the whole reason I watched the movie.
Okay, my name is NamaTheNerd.
I'm Dan.
This is...
Shouley.
We are Name, Dan, and Shouley. Bye.